Two of those transactions are already under contract. So that's great. That's in under 60 days that happened. Okay. We got 8 people that are wanting to do something now. We're in that process of making sure that they have what they need to go where they need to go, et cetera. And then there's another group of people that are 3 to 6 months out, or maybe a year out that we're talking, and they're just scared about the market. So where else are you going to spend that kind of money to be in conversation with that many potential sellers? That's really what this comes down to.
If we break down the numbers, I think you were telling me, before we started the interview that you spent around like $2,500 on YouTube ads that got you about 96 leads, 8 listing opportunities / appointments. So altogether, calculating the fact that, if we take like the average home price, it would be close to like $100,000 in potential GCI. Welcome guys. This is exactly how Cliff got 8 listing opportunities in less than 60 days in Orlando, Florida with YouTube ads inside our program, the Listing Accelerator. Cliff, welcome, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here as well, man. Can you introduce yourself a little bit, who you are? Tell us a bit about, how long you've been an agent.
Yep. Well, I started this business with hair in 2001, Michael, as you probably have known. Some of you can appreciate what I'm rocking right now. People like Dwayne Johnson, you know the deal. Anyway, the reality of it is I've been doing this, guys, for 23 years. I've been a full-time agent right here in Central Florida. I've moved close to 2,000 properties personally, and I have been through every type of coaching program or lead gen, whatever you want to call it, process throughout the many years. So this was something that I always wanted to do. I didn't really understand how to go about it properly. And so doing organic YouTube generation has been very profitable for me over the years, but it's also changed. It's become more competitive. And so, gravitating to what you guys were doing was a far better scenario, especially for me, because if you're listening to this, we have record inflation here in the United States. We have the highest, I think of as of this recording, 7.5% interest rate on a standard US mortgage. So it's bone crushing as far as the industry is concerned. So that's why I reached out to you, Michael, and that's why we're here.
And I believe we spoke about a year ago. We got on a call, and we didn't move forward, right?
Correct.
And then I think you reached back out, like obviously like a couple months ago, like 2-3 months ago. And then you decided to pull the trigger. So my question for you is like, what got you to reach back out? Because obviously there's a lot of companies out there are doing lead gen, promising leads, they're going to get you X amount. They're going to guarantee this, that. So maybe like you were like, skeptical a little bit, or you want to like be really careful as to like who you partner up with, which I understand. Completely normal.
Right.
But like, you want to like walk us through your, thought process, like, and what you were thinking during that process.
Sure. So I've been a fan of marketing for many years. Obviously I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, and I don't have the time to do all the things that I should be doing. So one of the things that was interesting about what you mentioned was how the YouTube ads are able to target the correct demographic, basically, of sellers, because ultimately, like many of us right now, we're kind of at the mercy. Even if you're buying leads, realtor.com, Zillow, you're going to be on Facebook, etc. Let's face it, that's interruption marketing, especially with Facebook and Instagram, etc. Right? So I really appreciate seeing the hamburger that you had. And oh, by the way, now the buzzword is let's 10x your business. Let's 10x, right? And so that's what we're seeing a lot of people selling to realtors right now. So the skepticism was very high with what you were doing, but I understood what you were doing because as someone who is on YouTube and seeing the ads or seeing the people that are selling something on YouTube, I was like, okay. However, I still was obligated contractually to other coaching companies, which I was literally spending thousands of dollars per month in order to generate hundreds and hundreds of leads. But of course, as the market had shifted, those leads were very difficult. Again, I think we've had this conversation many times where there's no lack of people that have a want. They all want to stop renting. They all want to own their house, right? But finding the people that need to do something was really the issue that I was having. I was getting burned out with just tire kickers. And then so now I'm still paying for the coaching for them to tell me that I'm looking like everybody else. And so obviously watching what you were doing, I realized that this is blue ocean environment, what you guys are doing, because not a lot of realtors are doing YouTube ads. And so the clients that are seeing me on YouTube automatically assume because they called me, I'm not calling them. They are assuming that I am an authority of that, of that information, and they're more likely to have a conversation. So I had to, beyond being beat up in losing several deals and buyers that could not qualify, I had to really suck it up, sell some stocks and dig deep and go, okay, I've got to invest in yet another program, which was a tremendous amount of, now I've got to go get married again to another company that's only going to hopefully not break my heart and take my money, right, et cetera. So that's why I reached out to you direct. We had another very candid conversation. And that was the thing too. A lot of these companies are not willing to put their skin in the game in order to say, hey, everybody's all about, yeah, we'll help you. Go ahead and give us this, right? And then it's like, well, anyway, and then you never hear from them again. So the transition was I felt was right. And it's, looking back, it's the best thing that I could have done, especially in this environment. And I've referred it to many of my friends in the industry, as you know. And the reality of it is that I wouldn't do that, especially with my track record and years being in this business, if I didn't feel confident that this is truly working. And I'm having conversations with sellers, not people that are buyers that can't qualify, or maybe whatever the case may be. They are local people. So you're able to help me tap into exact communities, areas that are high end, or maybe things that I would never be able to get into with a postcard campaign, spending thousands upon thousands and thousands of dollars and farming into that area. I'm already in front of their faces. They're already on YouTube looking up information about how to sell their home, what's selling their home, blah, blah, blah. And then boop, there's my beautiful mug, which is designed specifically for radio, not video, but we do it anyways, baby. We don't care.
There you go. So basically, if we break down the numbers, I think you were telling me, before we started the interview, that you spent around like $2,500 on YouTube ads that got you about 96 leads, 8 listing opportunities / appointments. None of them converted yet, but you're working like most of these deals, and it's just a matter of time. I think you were telling me like, some of these are already under contract. They hate their agent and they just want to list with you instead.
Yes.
So altogether, calculating the fact that, if we take like the average home price, it would be close to like $100,000 in potential GCI if everything closes. So most likely like it'll be probably like, 80%. So yeah, I mean, basically at like 35, 38 times return on, your ad spend if everything like actually converts. So, does that sound right? Like the numbers I just broken down, like you want to like give a little bit more info on that?
I mean, that's honestly, yes, you're right. 2 of those transactions are already under contract. So that's great. That's in under 60 days that happened. Okay. But what people don't understand is that there are people in this list of 96 people that are not ready to go right now. We got 8 people that are wanting to do something now. We're in that process of making sure that they have what they need to go where they need to go, et cetera. And then there's another group of people that are 3 to 6 months out, or maybe a year out, that we're talking, and they're just scared about the market. So where else are you going to spend that kind of money to be in conversation with that many potential sellers? That's really what this comes down to. So it's, you can set them up, but it's still my job to knock them down, right? So with the funnel systems, with the different, marketing or the technology that you guys offer, yes, do I want to be having to deal with another, everybody wants to do CRM, but I realize how important this is because everything is recorded. Everything's tracked. So it's like, I know exactly what I'm saying, what they're saying, what's going on. And yeah, so I mean, ultimately the potential is far greater than what we've even talked about as far as people doing something, in the next 6 months, right? Compared to the next 90 days. So, I mean, I'm excited because now it's sort of like once we start getting these closed based on what I really appreciated what you do was you helped me to quantify what our, not only our ad spend should be doing, and then we basically scale. So I'm just waiting right now to get these things closing so that we can say, okay, based on this number, now we scale, right? And then my fear can go down because I know that regardless of interest rates, the economy, people are still buying and selling property. So the question is am I the guy talking to them? Am I meeting with them versus my competition?
Exactly. So before, when you work with like other companies or lead providers, were you even able to scale that kind of process?
No, not in this market. And that was the scary part. You know, it's always it was a very religious experience because you're always praying that it's going to work, right? And so the process there is, you know, you can have, like I said, you can have qualified buyers, but when your rates are changing on the day, right, or prices are doing different things, et cetera, they can't keep up, right? Or the fall through was overwhelming. And it's sort of like, we've talked about this before, but you know, would I rather be in red ocean where every single realtor is doing the exact same thing as every other realtor? So what benefit do they really have versus being blue ocean where I'm that guy that they're seeing when they're automatically on YouTube? And then people say, oh my gosh, why aren't you doing more on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? Why aren't you? You cannot be all things to everyone. So I'm going to go where the big boys are. I'm going to go where the people that really have a house are going to be interrupted by, you know, what my mother feels was a fantastic decision in her life, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest mistake I see people make right now is like either one, they run Facebook ads, or two, they hire companies and they don't really know where the leads are coming from. But most of the time, the leads are being generated by Facebook ads, and the ads are generic. It's like a free home valuation ad. Like everybody's doing the same thing. It's not branded. It's not custom. So, and the targeting is non-existent. So, of course, the lead quality isn't there, right? So this is where we tap into YouTube, like where the targeting is like super precise. You can have leads that are ready right now. Why? Because YouTube's owned by Google. So you can tap into people looking up like realtors near me or like looking up houses online. So it's like, it's higher intent, right? To wrap up the interview, Cliff, what would you say to somebody that is thinking about joining our program, but is on the fence?
I would say that you have to ask yourself this question. Do you want to be in front of sellers or do you want to be in front of buyers? If you really want to survive and thrive, you have to be listing properties. You list to last. So you have to ask yourself, and I understand the fear is, man, you know, how am I gonna, I mean, because I can be buying a lead over at Facebook for $5, right? And I hope to God that property is they're gonna be a good buyer. And that's a $5 lead, right? And I can get 150 of those or 200 of those, right? And how exciting is that? But the reality of it is I'd rather have one seller lead that says, hey, I need help. Please, can you talk to me about this? I'm tired of dealing with you know, other agents that are rookies that haven't been able to help me, or I need to sell. That, hey, if you're new, there's no better, regardless of your experience. If you're new or you're seasoned, it doesn't matter. If you're having a conversation with these people, I mean, literally, you have to understand and ask yourself, your ad is going to create a reaction with an actual seller that is going to hit your calendar and tell you what time based on your calendar that they want to talk to you. If that is worth your time and your investment, I strongly suggest that you please give Mikael a call, because that's really what I wanted to do. And that's what I'm seeing is happening. I mean, I'm happy to share more if you guys want to know more, but the reality of it is having that ability to have that conversation based on their request puts you in a different atmosphere as the doctor versus someone groveling to try and get the job. And if you want to be in that position, well, you can do organics, which is fantastic. There's no problem. It takes a lot of work to do that as well. Or you could do targeted YouTube ads. Look, there's a lot of guys out there that are now trying to get into this business. Get in with the group that is pioneering and really showing how they can lead the way. And if this old guy can go do it and show you guys that it is possible, then so can you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Cliff. Appreciate it. And it's been a pleasure working with you, in the first 60 days, and, look forward to helping you scale your business to new heights.
Absolutely. Thank you.